Hey babies, how y'all doing today? Welcome to Donna's Spot. There's an issue that I wanted to talk to everybody about. It's not a personal issue. It's a worldwide issue. We all need to get out and vote. And I'm going to be honest with you. I used to see my parents vote when I was younger. Both of them are deceased. And I knew the importance of voting, but I didn't know why people were voting. So I signed up as a Democrat because that's what my parents were. And I would get out and vote, but I didn't know who the politicians were. I didn't know what they were standing for. So later on in life, I got into being a volunteer for the Erie County Board of Elections, which means I'm the person that you see when you go out to vote. I'm the person that will say, step right up and find your name in the book and show you where to sign, or tell you, here's your ballot. You can go vote in the privacy area and then put your ballot in machine A or machine B or machine C or whatever machine it was. After many years of being a volunteer, which I am still a volunteer, and I do work at least 2 to 3 elections a year, and I take my voting classes every year like everybody else. I started working for politicians, going out campaigning, and I learned the issues. The issues are, we all, excuse me, we all want to work for a living wage job. Now, personally, I'm on disability, but at the time when I was working, we all wanted to work for a living wage job. What is a living wage job, you ask? A living wage job is a job that you go out and work and you can pay your taxes, you can pay your bills, and you can have some money left over where you can do things that you enjoy or things that your family enjoys. We also want affordable health care. Everyone needs health care. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what race you are. We all need health care. And we need it to be affordable. We need to be able to go to the doctors whenever something is ailing us, whether it's something big or something small. We need to be able to go to the doctors and be able to pay to go to the doctors, unless you have Medicaid or Medicare. We need to be able to afford our medications. Medications are high. Doctors, when you go to a doctor's office, you tell the doctor what's wrong. He listens to you, whether he hears you or not, but he listens to you, and he writes out a script. What good is that script if you can't afford to get your medications? What good is that script if they're writing out a script for you and you know you need this medication, but if you pay for the medication, you can't afford to pay rent or you can't afford to buy food? And if we close the loopholes on all these corporations, they would pay more in taxes and we would pay less. So I want you to realize that when we go out and vote in November, we are not technically voting for Trump or Biden, because Kanye, there's no purpose to vote for him. Kanye is running for election to pull the votes away from Biden. Now, personally, I'm going to tell you like this. I want a politician that's looking out for all the people in the world, not a, a not a politician that's only looking out for the rich. I want a politician that's looking out for the rich, the middle class, and the poor. And if his ideals or ideas work for everybody, where it's making things good for everybody, that's who I want in office. It is a lot of things going on in the world, and it's unfair to everybody. And I think personally, it's an eye-opener to the middle class and even the rich. Because as a poor person, we have to learn how to do what we can, what little we have. But as a middle class person, whether you came from nothing or you came from something, if you've never struggled like a poor person, you could never understand what a poor person goes through. So I ask you to get out and vote. This issue that's going on now is so many different issues that's going on. We have where the world is changing over to a different money system, and it won't be any more dollars and cents. And we see that right now. Stores are short on coins. So if you go to pay for something that you bought, they'll say have the exact change or use a debit or credit card because they don't have the change. Paper money isn't worth anything. Although it might seem like, oh, I got some hundreds, I got some 50s, I got some 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s, but our money isn't worth anything. The other issue is removing the postal boxes. You're dead wrong to try to stop an election. You don't want mail-in ballots, but you sit up there and vote by mail-in. But you don't want mail-in ballots. Well, here's the issue with that. Some people can't afford to get to the polls. But I want to tell everybody something. No matter what city you are in the world, there are organizations, there are companies that will take you to the polls to vote and won't charge you anything. But you just got to get hooked up with the right company. I encourage you and I implore you to call your Board of Elections and ask them, do you know of any company or any organization that'll help me get to the polls? I want to come in and vote. It's many elderly people and disabled people that go through a lot of changes, and you wouldn't understand the changes unless you're disabled or elderly. There are a lot of challenges and changes that people go through. But please get out and vote. Please call your election offices and ask them, are there any organizations or anybody I can turn to help this voting process so I can get out and vote? Not only stopping the mail from processing as quickly by taking the machines out of the post offices. I need the mail to run all the time. I'm be honest. I'm not. Sometimes I'm waiting for checks in the mail. I'm not gonna lie. I wait for my samples that I order because I want to do my YouTube videos. I'm waiting for my packages that I order because I like to order online. But not only do I like to order online, I get many products to review through the Postal Service. And I need the Postal Service to be able to run. It's many of people that get medications through the mail. They need their medications. And it's unfair because there is a presidential election going on that some people can't have their medications because of this issue of absentee ballots and voting by mail. I'm going to need you to get out and vote. This is just a distraction. It's just a political ploy. It's a political game that is being played. We have the coronavirus issue. Honestly and personally, I don't think there's a coronavirus. I think that there are many people that don't go to the doctor for many reasons, whether they're scared to go to the doctor, or they're scared of what the doctor might say, or they don't have insurance. Everybody doesn't qualify for Medicaid and Medicare. Medicaid is a state-ran program to insure the poor. Medicare is a federal-run program that when you work, for the first $3,000 you make on any job, whether it's part-time, full-time, floating hours, or whatever, those are the points that add up towards your retirement. So if you're working and you're working every year, if you're working part of the year and on unemployment part of the year, as long as you make $3,000 within 1 year from an employer, those points go towards your retirement. You could work for multiple employers. Those points go towards your retirement. And some of us work until we can no longer work. I worked until I no longer could work. So, yes, I get Medicare. And by being low income, yes, my doctors and medical supplies and medication are taken care of by the government. But I paid into it. So, by right, I deserve to get back. Either way, we are voting for everybody, rich, poor, young, old, elderly, disabled, everybody, black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Mexican, Somalian, African, whatever. We are working towards making things better for ourselves and the next generations to come. The next generations have so many disadvantages. Everything is so computerized now and digital now that it promotes people not to use their brain. I need you to get out and vote. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if you vote for Trump. I don't care if you vote for Biden. I don't care if you vote for Kanye, even though that was a stupid mistake. Because Kanye is Trump's friend. And he's trying to pull the votes away from Biden. He knows that a lot of people are upset and mad and angry, and rightfully so, with Trump. But no matter who wins, it's about doing the best for our country as a whole, for everybody. I'm no better than you, and you're no better than me. And that goes for everybody in the world, whether they're a high elected official or a homeless person, whether they are making millions or they're making nothing, or everything in between. We need to get out and vote. The issues are what we are voting on. And having the best person to run the world where it's fair to everybody. So I just wanted to share this with you. Please, please, please talk to everybody, whether older or younger. Let's talk about these issues. Let's talk about what we need. Let's talk about what we want. We can't complain if we won't get out and vote. Like I said about this coronavirus, it's a cover-up. But in the same instance, cover-up or not, it's a lot of people out here that's sick and don't go to the doctors. So when they go to the doctors and something's wrong, it could be diabetes, it could be high blood pressure, it could be arthritis, it could be many things. Some of these conditions, and I know because I have a lot of them, some of these conditions are the underlying things that make your body hurt or make something go wrong in your body. And when the doctors don't know what it is, they push it off on coronavirus. Coronavirus and any other virus is a ploy for us to focus on the illness, the coronavirus, swine flu, whatever. And if you're focused on that, then you're not paying attention to what's happening in the world around you and how it affects you. I personally think that this year, or the last few years, I know it's been longer than that, but to appease you, I'm going to say for the last few years, that people have had the wrong impression. People think, like Trump said, oh, I want a wall built to keep out the Mexicans. Well, why are you trying to keep out the Mexicans? Every other race is here in the United States. Let them come too. What difference does it make? But he wanted to build this wall. He said the poor was going to pay for the wall. Well, come on, use your common sense. If we're so poor and destituted and we barely have anything, how are we going to pay for this wall? We were never going to pay for the wall. That was just game. It was political game. We are too poor to pay for the wall. But they were going to cut programs to pay for this wall. And as we see, it never happened. Then, who do you think is going to pay for the wall? The rich aren't going to pay for it. They get all kinds of tax breaks. They're not going to pay for it. Who do you really thought was going to pay for that wall? It was the middle class. And every time we have equal proportions of classes, rich, middle class, and poor, the middle class is the one who gets screwed. Because the poor is poor. They can't do nothing. The rich is rich, and they getting all these tax write-offs. Who do you think pays for everything in this country? The middle class. So therefore, now we only have two classes. We've only had two classes for many years. We've had the rich and we've had the poor. There's no more middle class. There hasn't been a middle class for the last 20 years or so. Could be a little longer. There hasn't been a middle class for a long time. Either you're rich and you've been born into money, or your family scuffled and built an empire and you have money, or you're poor. Now, you might be a little above the poor because you were poor at one time and you know the struggles you went through as a kid, and you vowed to yourself that you're not gonna be like that. So you got out and you worked and you worked and you put up with a lot of stuff. And you start getting more money than being poor. But there is a class called the working poor. So no matter how hard you work, no matter how many jobs you work, no matter how much money you have, you still don't have what the rich have. So I want you to keep this in mind, and especially for people in Western New York, or especially for people that go on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Please do not complain about anything that's happening if you're not willing to get out and vote. It's important to get out and vote. Everybody's vote counts. A lot of people feel like, well, why should I go out and vote? My vote isn't going to count. Well, we all see when President Obama was going into office and everybody got out and voted, we see what happened. President Obama became president. And this is the time right now to start thinking about your values and what you need in life. And if you need the values that I stated when I first started this video, you need to talk to your loved ones, your friends, your families, the children in your family. We need everybody to know it's their right to vote. Not only is it your right to vote, look around, look at what's happening. We've had a lot of black killings throughout the world, and we've had a lot of people protesting about it. We need to learn how to make people accountable, whether it's the police, whether it's the politicians, whether it's you, whether it's me. We need to be accountable for the things that we say and our actions. Everybody does. It's very important that we all can live in society and live as a whole without looking at race. We need to look at us as a society, as a whole, and what do we need, and how can we live better. This is just something that's very heavy on my mind that I wanted to share with everybody. I'm not saying it's going to change anything, but what I am saying is I want you to start having conversations about what is good for you and what is good for you as a whole. As a whole is the body of the world. What is good for us? And vote for the person that is trying to make things good for everybody. Don't feed into the games. Don't feed into the political ploys, because they're out there, and if you don't pay attention to them, or you don't recognize them, or you don't know, it's easy to fall in that trap. If people go out and protest about killing black people, it's considered as rioting. If you go to a political meeting and listen to the politicians, it's called support. There's no difference. Whether you're sitting up here going out because you're hurt and you're upset and you're aggravated because of the way people are being killed, or if you're going to listen to a politician talk about what he's going to do for us, there's no difference. We have to wear a mask to go out and let a person know how we feel when we're going to support all these lives. Everybody is screaming Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Korean, African, Somalian, Mexican, whatever. Everybody's lives matter. So therefore, I want everybody to do a good job and get out and vote. Your opinion matters. But if you don't feel your opinion matters, then you won't vote. Your opinions matter. Your choices matter. The things we need to live matter. God matters. And I want you to remember this. And I want you to show everybody some love. And I'm going to show everybody some love. And we need to get out and vote. We need money for school funding. We need money for states funding. We need money for everybody, not just the select few. Everybody. We all matter. I love you all. Whether you love me or not, it doesn't matter. I don't care about if you love me or not. But as a people, we need to get out and vote. Please do not complain about, oh this, oh that, oh I didn't, If you don't go out and vote, if you don't share your opinion, if you don't count, you don't make yourself count, then don't start complaining. Because remember, you didn't count. You didn't think your vote counted. You didn't think your opinion counted. It's time we need to start educating ourselves. Back many years ago, we as black people, we couldn't read. Not because we couldn't read, because a lot of us did read, but our ancestors were prohibited from reading. Now that we have the right to read, we don't get out and read anyhow. We don't get out and do what we need to do. Please get out and do what you need to do. Please go out and vote. Please go out and vote. You matter. You matter to me. And I hope I matter to you. I need you to get out and vote. That should be your only goal for 2020. If you want things to change, if you want things to get better, if you want to have a chance at a good life, you need to get out and vote. Until next time, I'm going to see you later. Please share your opinions on this subject. I would be glad to interact with you. The world is full of beautiful people, and it's a beautiful place to be in. And please, let's keep it that way. Until next time, I will see you later. I love you all. I love everybody. And I will see you later.